Hockey's back, baby. Let's go.
I think that's the goal there, to be honest. That hockey was phenomenal. All right, Phil Kessel is a Stanley Cup champion once again. I mean, hey, Bruce, there it is. Bruce, there it was. At least it wasn't Adam Fox.
It's two juggernauts just colliding with each other. What?
Weird.
Now we have to deal with another generational talent in Chicago. Woot. Welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast. I am B-Dog, and here with my co-host as always, my boy T-Dog as always. T-Dog, how we doing today?
Buddy, we are doing pretty fantastic. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good, but you know what is kind of weird though? This season is very odd. So much is going on, so many ups and downs with so many teams. And honestly, I'm just going to get right into it. What are the most surprising teams so far in the last, what are we, 10 games, 10, 11 games now, I would say for sure.
Dude, it's a season, man. Yeah, 10 games, right? So it's a month in. Well, okay, less than a month technically, but I don't really know how to formally put my thoughts together. First off, Vegas. They shouldn't be this good because there's supposed to be a thing called a Stanley Cup hangover. Guess they didn't get that message. Secondly, Boston forgot the message that not Marchand, Bergeron is gone, but they're still playing like they have a prime Bergeron. Sure. They're a solid team, man. San Jose, I mean, they're tanking for celebrating.
San Jose is a situation, man.
That is a situation. We got to get into that one today.
Oh,
what else, man? I mean, there's a team out north, man, in Alberta. That team's thought they go on a winning streak after winning the Heritage Classic. They haven't done that. The point being, crazy season, and this is why we love the sport, because we have no idea what's going to happen. It is just unpredictable, and it's entertaining.
Yeah, I definitely got to say this season so far has been kind of with its ups and downs, a very shocking season. Like you said, we'll start off with Vegas. I think Vegas is a team that we did suspect would have a little bit of a hangover because, I mean, it is a Vegas team. You're in Las Vegas partying. You're probably going to get most hammered there, right? That seems like most logical sense.
I mean, we all saw those parade videos, man.
Yeah, like, dude, there was no way they
were on a buzzer, man. They're crazy.
100%.
Bender, man.
But, dude, they are performing so well. Like, this team, after just an offseason of winning a cup and still the chemistry being there, Eichel's looking amazing, Stone's looking amazing, Aiden Hill's really stepping up as a great first option here, with Logan Thompson also being a great option as well for their goaltending. So it's looking pretty good for them in the long term, especially when we're looking even in playoffs. But again, we're still far away from playoffs, but this team is performing spectacular for sure. Another team I guess we also mentioned was Boston. So Boston, I suspected was a team that was going to drop a lot this season, but they're 9-1-1. They've only lost one game. They lost their two main centers in the offseason, and it seems like nothing's changed in Boston. They've lost so much pieces and everything. Brad Marchand's captain. He's slew-footing everyone still, even Liljegren that we
I'm gonna say this. If it wasn't Marchand, there wouldn't be this type of backlash. Just saying.
I mean, true. Right. But it looked pretty dirty. It still looked pretty dirty.
Yeah, like I've seen worse. And I hope he's okay. That's what I wish he's okay. I hope he's okay. I'm not saying it was intentional or not, but I hope he's okay. Also, what about that Courtois kid? Like, what is up? Boston is like Pittsburgh. They always have young prospects. Maybe Pittsburgh, not as much now, but prospects, man. They can just develop prospects, and out of nowhere, they can just solidify themselves into a slot in the lineup and perform well and be a factor for the team to win. I'm okay with being wrong about Boston because I honestly think it's good for the league when Boston does good. I mean, those jerseys, man. Oh my, those jerseys look sexy, bro. All of like the especially I'm probably the only one who thinks this, but to me their third jersey is the best one. I think it's like the best looking, like that vintage white cream color. Ooh. Just solid with that gold,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do actually have to agree, but honestly, my favorite jersey of all three would probably be the black, like their home jerseys, the black,
Yeah.
it's such a good looking jersey
Oh,
with the mix
100%,
of
man.
black, white, and gold in there. It looks so crisp. But again, it's kind of crazy. We're talking about a team like Boston being this good still from just an offseason of losing everything. Like, again, I think realistically, if playoffs started now and they had to match up against one of the wildcard teams, they could make it to a second round, but I don't think this team would make it that far if we're realistically talking. So again, it's too early in the season to even
Yeah.
discuss that. But
As long as they don't play against a team that has Carter or Hagee on them on that team, and he scores a Game 7 overtime goal, then I think they're good.
yeah, if they just don't verse Florida in the first round, I think they're good. But
Pretty much.
realistically, my expectations for Boston so far are unbelievably crazy. Like this again, I didn't expect this team to be 9-1-1 in the first 11 games. That's unbelievable.
Actually, we were just talking about this. One team that I do think is what we expect it to be right now is Florida. They're pretty much a 500 team. What are they? 5-4. Yeah, they're 5-4-1. Injuries have very much been a factor for that. They're getting their players back pretty soon here.
Yeah.
They will be healthy, and I think they will have a better rest of the season. But I did kind of expect it, man. They were banged up, and that's the sacrifice you have to pay to go and do a nice lengthy run to the Cup Finals. I don't think Florida's in any trouble, to be honest. I just kind of keep playing it, but it gets a little tough when you got teams like Detroit coming out of the blue who's starting to make themselves known. But I mean, I think Montreal, yeah, you'll just pretty much. I think Florida will have to be a wild card again to kind of make it back to the plus.
I think Florida is still in a pretty decent situation, just over 500. Again, you did mention those injuries did affect them because obviously Stanley Cup Finals, you get banged up, you get bruised, you get broken throughout all of that. And now they're suffering a little bit during the beginning. But again, being just over 500 in this situation, I think they'll live. Again, players should be coming back very soon for this team. So I'm not too worried about Florida.
What about this Ottawa team? I thought they
Brother.
were going to be much better. They do not look good right now. Korpisalo, I still have high hopes for him, and I think he's a good goalie. But man, they just don't look that good defensively.
Ottawa is a different situation. Oh my God, what has happened here? Because again, I was the guy that predicted they would be one of the top guys in their division this year and finally take that jump. But no, this team hasn't found its edge yet. Again, Korpisalo, like you said, is potentially, I think it's just a new team, new start. It's something different that he's not used to. Got to give it a little bit more time on him. But this team shouldn't be playing this bad from what they're saying they should be. And it doesn't help they lost a first round pick.
Kind of like Pittsburgh. I mean, they absolutely blew out San Jose 10-2. Few games, they look kind of shaky, man. I mean, can I say they're kind of like Calgary? They play a solid 20 minutes and then the other 20 isn't that good. And then they kind of try and play catch up that last 20. I mean, Penguins fans, you can let me know if I'm just an idiot here because I've only watched like one Penguins game this season, but that's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
And, the additions with Riley Smith has helped them for say in the goal scoring category, but as well too, you would expect a little more from Erik Karlsson. He hasn't been the San Jose Erik Karlsson that we would expect to be. And if Pittsburgh wants to start making runs to the playoffs again, especially with the time that you have left with Gino and Sid, you kind of have to have Karlsson, play to that elite level that we know he can play.
Yeah, that's very true. Again, I think with Pittsburgh alone, they are off to a very rocky start. And what I expected from them was to be that playoff contender team because you finally got another defenseman that could help out Chris Letang. And Erik Karlsson's a very offensive defenseman, and hopefully you can expect him to produce that many points like he did last year. Hopefully, but I wouldn't count them out completely yet because this is still the Pittsburgh team that has Malkin, Crosby, Gensel, Chris Letang. Tristan Jerry's been a little bit rocky so far, which isn't great to see either. They might, if you're really looking at Pittsburgh too, you might want to see a potential goalie change during mid-season if nothing changes.
Yeah, as a certified, I think the name Tristan is a phenomenal name, best name out there, right? But yeah, I don't know what Dubas was thinking.
Yeah,
him
it's a
being
little bit
the
rough with their
goalie for them.
goaltending for sure, but I think you might be able to see a little bit of change more like 20 games down the road. It could change, but I mean, they were 2-6 and then they just won their last two, so there's still a lot of season to go off of this.
I have an idea.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Why not?
All right, trade deadline.
Oh god,
Vladar, Gensel, 1-for-1. They need a goalie, and Buddy just like he played pretty well against Seattle there. So,
what are the chances we can get Vladar over there for a first round pick? Do you think they'll be that desperate for a goaltender?
Second max.
No,
and the only way to be second is if literally when this season is, at that point, Vladar is just absolutely crushing every game he's played. Even when he loses, he just still has a fit. Like how Markstrom's kind of playing, I'd say.
Oh, so we send Markstrom over for a first round pick then.
Dude, I just want Wolfen. I don't care anymore, man. As what's being proven with the first goals by Pospisil and Zari, we succeed when or somewhat succeed when the Wranglers team is called up.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so excited to get into Flames talk soon. I think Flames talk is going to be really fun this episode. But honestly, is there like any other teams that really did shock you throughout the half of this? Well, the 11 games we're in so far this season.
I don't know about shock for I mean, I expected Dallas to be here. They're just such a good team. And honestly, like, I love watching the Stars. They're such a fun team to watch. Yeah. Colorado, some of their losses have looked, I mean, they're 7-3. But some of their losses have looked kind of ugh. They just got 5-0 to Vegas, and that's something to behold, right? I'm just kind of going down the list, but I mean, Chicago is where I expected them to be. Bedard's looked awesome, and man, he's going to be such a phenomenal player. Yeah. Taylor Hall's back. Now, this is what I'm mad about. ESPN Fantasy didn't mention that he was back, and so I didn't put him on my roster for tonight, and he scored a goal, so.
Oh well, you would have needed that when you're versing me. God darn.
No, it was like 4 points, but hopefully my Sunday it was like the 2 games that are playing. It didn't get happen.
Oh my god.
You know what? We haven't got to LA 7-2. All right, and okay, now I will mention that because I right now I'm wrong because I completely believe that the PLD trade was just stupid. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna work out, but it seems like he is fitting well with the Kings organization, and they're prospering from it right now. So let's see what Vegas can do as they go forward. I think if they're in this spot come American Thanksgiving and they're still performing like this, it's probably a solidified third Pacific spot because no one else is fighting for that Pacific spot right now.
I mean, realistically, other than Vegas, yes, correct. That is very true. But with the LA Kings, one thing I do got to mention, though, is their goaltending tandem's actually playing pretty well. Like Cam Talbot is 6-2 with a save percentage of .923 and a goals against average of 2.14. That's impressive when you have Cam Talbot and Copley as your goaltending tandem. That's actually very impressive to see that Cam Talbot has bounced back a little bit. And he's probably been a true reason why these guys have been winning the games I've had. So you got to give it to the goaltending tandem that no one really thought would take seriously enough in this division. But I mean, they're looking better than the Flames goaltending tandem right now. So I'll give them that.
To be fair, I don't think the Flames' woes are on the goaltending. And here's the thing, though. I was believing that LA would drop in production because of losing Korpisalo, but they haven't, and I'm happy for Talbot, man. He's always moving around, and I got a soft spot for Talbot because he was a Flame, and he never played terrible. Like when you think about it, he always played what he did what he needed to do. Maybe he wasn't always the outstanding goalie that maybe we needed at times. We could have needed him in 2019.
Yeah,
Now that I think about it, it would have been good.
that would have been really nice. You know what? Like Cam Talbot gives me the vibes of like Kerry Ramo back in like 2015 when
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Flames.
yeah,
He
yeah,
gives me
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
vibes of like, oh, he's a good goalie that you wouldn't like completely rely on like an elite goalie, but he can show up when he needs to show up, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
vibes that Talbot weirdly give me. But if we're actually talking about Pacific teams here, I did want to mention Edmonton because
Yep. Okay.
second worst in the division to a team that hasn't won a game. And again, everyone's expectations were Edmonton on top of the league, on top of this division. I mean, because they have the pieces. They had everything working perfectly for them. But as we have talked to some of the guys in our TikTok lives and now Oilers fans, they are saying it's the defense and the goaltending
Oh,
that are a
buddy.
big issue on this team. And you
Have you?
thought,
I saw a video today. I'm pretty sure it was Nurse too. Which
yeah,
he gets paid $9 million, by the way. Dude, buddy, like we had more hustle, getting to class after lunch in high school
oh my
than
god,
these guys. Like I think that's a perfect analogy, man. Pat myself on the back for that. Dude, like it's embarrassing. I think I've been talking to my friend there. Shout out Caden. He's a big Oilers fan, right? And this is what I think. It's that this team is already in the mindset that they've already made playoffs, and that they don't like this doesn't matter. Game time when it matters is when it's playoff time, right?
yeah,
This is when Daryl Sutter is a great coach to have because he would knock the ego out of everyone and be like, listen, no, you have not made the playoffs yet. That's the first step to everything.
bro.
And that's why I feel. Plus, two, why did Woodcroft change his system? I don't get it. Like, it was working. I know it, maybe wasn't working against Vegas, but let the goal scorers score. You have the best player in the world, plus the second best player, and then the second best player in the world. I don't know why. Like, be more offensive minded, man. Like, play to your strengths. Like, I don't. It's a struggle, but it's true too. Like the goaltending. I mean, Skinner and Campbell have to be better. That's truth. But at the same time, it's the same with like the Flames goalie situation. How can you blame the goaltending when the defense is playing so lackluster? Well, the Flames defensive play is that. Oh, they just have terrible defense right now. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, Ekholm hasn't. I mean, he was a factor last season. I haven't seen much of this. Desharnais, buddy's gonna start speaking Chinese soon, right? Pula. I
Wait, so
mean,
are you
I don't know, man.
initially saying with Woodcroft then that he's on the hot seat, and if nothing truly changes in the next 20 games, you think he's out of a job?
But he's gonna be fine. I don't think he's gonna be the solution. But here, you have to do something, right, to have a start this bad.
Yeah.
Like this is not good because if it's almost American Thanksgiving, and I keep bringing this up because there's a bunch of statistics where it's like if you're on a certain line in the standings,
By
you
Thanksgiving.
pretty much make it or you pretty much don't make it for the playoffs. Very rare. Like St. Louis is an exception, but like an anomaly that happens very rare. So you just hope Edmonton could be something like that, right? If you are a fan of them. But yeah, Woodcroft will be the solution to kickstart something, but it's not It can't be Woodcroft's fault, man. I mean,
If you're just looking at Edmonton alone, yes, the defense core is kind of like disturbing to look at right now. And obviously, Cam Talbot is not playing, or sorry, not Cam Talbot. Jack Campbell is not playing to that level that he needs to be, that he's getting paid for. And it's concerning when you're 2 seasons in and he still hasn't played up to that contract. And your Calder finalist and Skinner is not playing that well. But again, I don't think it's really the goaltending's fault in Edmonton. I would say it's more the D core. But if truly nothing does change, I think Woodcroft is out pretty soon. And that's why I asked the question, like, how much on the hot seat do you think he is? Because again, if we go 10 more games after this episode, he might lose the job. He might, if nothing truly changes in Edmonton.
We're definitely calling out something right now. We're gonna predict this, but to me, it depends on how bad they want Macklin Celebrini. That's how I see it.
No,
So if they want him,
no,
he's staying all season.
no.
If not, I don't know. No, but yeah, you know, you're right. I mean, honest to goodness, it could be this week. Like
Yeah,
come this next week, right? But you know what? I don't know what are they at for losing streak. They are on a second two game losing streak. You know, broken by the Heritage Classic. They haven't won in Rogers Place this year yet because they won in Commonwealth, so technically at home, but they never won in Rogers Place. That is not good. And they
that's not a good
always
sign
play
if you're
good.
not winning a home.
Yeah, like dude, you have some of the best fans in the world, loudest fans, right? You got boys are cheering on no matter what. This is what you're giving them. Come on, man. Like your
Brutal.
ticket prices are not worth it, man. Buddy, their ticket prices are garbage. Expensive, man. Great, great arena. But that product, man, right now, who's paying that money, right?
My God.
Now, yeah, ultimately, like, yeah, I could see one or two more losses. Yeah, maybe we're right about that.
If
Yeah,
I'm
that's
being
what I see
honest,
about Edmonton.
oh yeah. But honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I wanted to mention one more team before we do switch things up here. And they're also in the Pacific.
Okay.
The Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, okay.
So they are 6-4 right now. They're just in
And
the
it's not
middle of
about
the
Zegras?
division. But I think the one thing I wanted to say about Anaheim, their prospects are finally tuning it up. Mason McTavish is looking, oh my God, he's looking amazing with Anaheim right now. Troy Terry's a little bit hasn't been doing that well at the beginning of the season for just getting a brand new contract. Zegras is still playing well. And I think Leo Carlson's actually almost a point per game with Anaheim so far. So I think if you're a Ducks fan right now, you must be really happy that your prospects that you tanked for and you're drafted are finally starting to show some potential on your team. And that's a really good sign. So maybe in the next 2 years, you could see Anaheim on top of the division.
This is actually what I was seeing from Ducks fans. It's not even that because Zegras is technically lacking in the point structure from what he was last year.
True.
But apparently his defensive game is much better. And that's great. I mean, getting a young stud like that, right? And he's going to play some good defense. I mean, if he can be a two-way forward, man, that's what you need. Also, too, Pavel Mintyukov, another player. He's apparently been very solid. That's who I'd have heard as well. And good on the Ducks, man. I mean, this is how you rebuild Calgary. So that's the way to go, right? And it's working. And dude, Lucas Dostal's taking the job over John Gibson. So Gibson's probably gonna get shipped up. Ooh, Gibson to Edmonton. There we go. There's my
Gibson,
my ADHD brain working.
Nah, bro, we're talking Gibson to Pittsburgh if we're talking about goalie.
Oh yeah, that's a great. Oh, true. Oh, buddy,
just send Tristan Jerry the other way.
Might as well. But yeah, Dawson's look good. I mean, good for him, man. There's two more teams I want to talk about. One more in the Pacific, and then one more in the East Conference. But Vancouver.
Ooh,
I want to hear what you think. Because straight up, bro, like I mean, dude, as a Flames fan, I got to give them credit, buddy. They look good, man. Like they're scoring goals. Demko is. I'm telling you this. I don't know if it would happen in Vancouver, but I believe that Demko is so good. If you put him on a team that could actually do something in the playoffs, he could carry a team to a finals run.
Ooh,
I think he's that good.
That's a very bold statement.
I think he's that good.
But
Demko is fantastic. Bro, every time I've watched him, like even when I've watched him live, and even when the team was so bad last year, dude still was making absolutely fantastic saves. Like the dude actually cares about his job, man.
Oh my God.
He's fantastic, seriously. And that helps. Plus, too, right? You know, making Quinn Hughes the captain. Buddy is, dude, now that he's captain, I've been like, you know, studying his play more. His skating ability, dude, wow. His skating ability is fantastic, man. He can maneuver the puck. He's such a direct sleek, stealthy shot. It's accurate too. Like that's just fantastic. Plus, their goal scorers are scoring their goals, and I mean that's great. I mean, again, that begs the question: does Elias Pettersson sign after the season? I don't think so, but I've been wrong before. And good for the Canucks having a good start because the organization and the city needs it.
Yeah, we do talk about Vancouver here. And yeah, you're correct. They're 8-2 in 10 games. That is nothing what we would expect out of Vancouver this season because again, you and I both thought they were going through an identity crisis, but I guess with Pettersson actually trying to get a contract next year, he's proving that he deserves that 11, 12 mil that I mentioned last episode, because he's in 11 games already got 20 points. 20 points by Elias Pettersson.
That's oh yeah, and they shut out 2-0. They shut out the Stars.
Yeah.
Who were just, glazing them right there too, how good they were.
Yeah,
so
like
this team is pretty solid, man.
This team has shown it's pretty solid. And honestly, I think a big reason for it is Demko. I think Demko
100%.
has started to bring back that ability and potential he obviously always had, I guess.
Best goalie since Luongo.
Yeah, like
Simple
realistically. But dude,
fantastic.
I think this guy finally turned on the Jets in Vancouver trying to get a new deal too, because if I'm correct, he is on his last deal before they decide that.
Let's check this, boys. Let me look at
here,
the cap friendly here.
Here, I'll throw a stat. Well, as you're searching that up, I'll throw a stat at you. He's 6-2. He has a goals against average of 1.55, so it's way under 2. And his save percentage is 947. He's almost got a save percentage of 950, and he has nothing close to a goals against average of 2. Are you crazy? This guy is putting up less than 2 goals per game.
Dude, anything over a 9.2, 9.25 is crazy, but the fact he's over a 9.3, what? That's fantastic.
Like, I know it's only like
that's
an 8 game. I know it's only in like 8 games, but still, that is a crazy start for a goaltender. And it seems like he's on a hot streak. So I think Vancouver, if you just keep up with this, and maybe if you're as good as you are by the trade deadline, maybe you upgrade the defense to actually help them even more. So
yeah, but the conversation we were all having before the season started is completely shifted. And so maybe try and find some team-friendly deals here if if the season keeps going this way and you do something in the playoffs. It's looking good for them right now. And I mean, again, like, I think Canucks fans are all for this because it's been a few years of just they deserve it for sure.
Yeah, I think that is very true.
But yeah, anyways, enough glazing the Canucks here. I want to talk about the Red Wings, man. Again, boys are
Red Wings.
Remember how we were talking about the Senators and Detroit last podcast, how they were pretty similar in the rebuilding process?
Yeah,
I think we know who's winning this right now. Detroit looks freaking great, man. I mean, people talk about goalie problems. I think Ville Husso's good, man. I think he's a solid player. I don't know, maybe if he's always gonna be a starter. I think he's maybe better in a 1A/1B situation, but I think he's looking. I don't even know if Reimer's played yet. I'll be honest, but 7-4-1.
Yeah, he has.
Reimer's okay, that's good. Yeah, there's 7-4-1, but I mean, like, top goal scorer in the league, right? And the DeBrincat, it's looking good for them right now. Much better than I expected, but good for Detroit, man. And again, fans, they deserve it.
So, you know what? One thing I kind of realized about myself was, I think it was about a year or two ago when we were doing this, that I said that Detroit would eventually come out of this tank and actually prove that they're like a good hockey team again. I don't know why I decided not to like finally take a decision and bump them up in my season predictions. Because, like, I said they were 7th in the division, and now they're, like, 3rd. And they're absolutely killing it right now with DeBrincat and Larkin. Like, I kind of feel dumb because I just, like, bullshitted my own prediction. I said they would be good eventually, and then I'm like, nah, not this year. Not this year. And then they pull this shit on me. Okay, we're back after that. Sorry, boys. Anyways, we're discussing... yeah, same shit, different day. But... we're back on to the discussion about Detroit. This is still a very surprising team. We did mention last episode, but the thing is, they're still doing good. They're still winning games, and they're blowing my expectations out of the water because I've said that they were going to be good someday. But for some stupid reason, I said they wouldn't this year. But they're blowing my expectations out of the window. So I wanted to talk about this team a little bit. Ville Husso is doing well. James Reimer is being a very solid B option with this team. And Larkin and DeBrincat's connection is unbelievable right now. Larkin leads the team with 17 points in 12 games, and DeBrincat is right behind him with 14 points in 12 games. So, T-Dog, I would like to hear what you think of what Detroit is, and what do you expect out of them for the rest of the season?
Well, like we were saying the last podcast, how Ottawa and Detroit, they're pretty much in that same sphere. But we kind of know who's like winning that rebuild race right now. It's easily Detroit. I mean, look at that. I mean, the goal scoring, like DeBrincat with 9 goals. Huso, maybe he's not a starter for say most teams. I think he's a best 1A option in a 1A 1B scenario. But you can run with them, right? I think Reimer's played a few games, if I'm correct, as well.
Yep, he's played 4 games.
Cool.
He's 2 and 2.
There you go, right? Oh, there you go, right? So he's still being able to put up numbers at his age, which is solid. I mean, the team's just playing well, and Detroit, they deserve it.
Honestly, yeah.
The fans deserve it. The league is better with them.
The league is really better when Detroit is a really good team, in my opinion. If you also want to hear his stats off of James Reimer, his goals against average right now is 1.52 and a save percentage of 944.
944. That's crazy. Demko numbers?
Yeah, James Reimer is pulling Demko numbers in only 4 games played. That is nuts.
Dude, you know what? It's looking good in D-Town. I mean, the thing is, dude, they haven't been good since Datsuk, and that's been a decade now.
Yeah,
that's
I would
crazy.
Say
so it's a long time coming.
Yeah, I think it was 2013 the last time they made playoffs, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
and they were a wild card. Yeah, like it's really nice to see Detroit because, like, I feel like a lot of hockey fans are probably saying now when Detroit is a good hockey team, the league is just better. And it makes the Atlantic a lot more interesting for sure. But hey, guys, if you guys did enjoy this episode, please leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. We love the support we get from you guys. Keep it up and tell us how you think the season is going so far. What are you excited for? What team do you hate? What team do you love? Just drop it down in the comments. And T-Dog, wrap this up.
Boom, like me dog said, thank you very much for listening, watching, however you are consuming this content. If you did like it, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Comment question of the day. What did you go as for Halloween? I went as Happy Gilmore. It was pretty simple, Bruins jersey, golf club. Yeah. And what did you go as again? You like some sort of like
I did
Purge,
a duo
remember?
of the Purge. So, but
yeah.
You know what? Screw Halloween. We're in November. Now it's Christmas time. So get your Christmas music out. Get your Christmas tree out. It's that time of year already, boys.
Let's go. Well,
here we come.
The present we can be looking forward to is more hockey. World Juniors coming up in a month. Let's go, boys. All right.
Let's
see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.